Okay, welcome back to another vibe coding session. So, here we talk about all things AI development. We shouldn't really call it vibe coding, it's AI first development or AI assisted development. So, every time I say vibe coding tonight, you have to scream at me, buzz me, tell me that we're upgrading it. We're not calling it that anymore. It's AI first development or AI assisted development, something a little more positive. Even though it is really a vibe. So, anyways, what do we do here? We talk about what people are building. We talk about the tools that people are using, the large language models, the AI that people are using, and we answer questions. We help each other. We assist in building, contributing, and we try to foster AI first development. I'm not going to showcase what I've been working on to get us started this week. Heather said that she has a few apps that she's been working on and would like to share. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and Heather is going to take us into what she has been working on and the issues that she had. I remember last week, Heather had a really expensive prompt that cost about $200 to build. I'm curious how she did this week. Ooh, a little sneak peek. Okay, Heather, you're muted, but feel free to unmute when ready.
Hey there. Okay, I'm back. All right, yeah. So this was my expensive one that we showed off last week that I have not gotten back to because I've also been torturing Shakespeare this week and doing some experiments. But we'll get to one of the ones that I think came out pretty good. That is this the one? No. See, here's the other thing that I do is I do things twice. So here's one that came out pretty good. Here's the end result. Can you see this one?
Yep.
The block party one. Okay, cool. So it came out in an interesting way. So if you go to the first one, I'm trying to remember why I did it. So this was like $1.68. I just basically took a whole bunch of text notes of mine and asked it to make me a dashboard in purple and orange using dark mode. And it was notes that I took from our mining block party on Saturday. So I had, hourly written down what our hash rate was. It knew what the party odds were, like the best party odds that we had from the day. And it made these little, it wasn't very good. So I don't know. So I tried again.
Well, your notes are
And,
also weren't very maybe we're gonna organize.
and
Like you just basically just pasted in like your like handwritten notes, kind of or typed
oh,
out
yeah, like
notes.
they
Yeah,
were,
yeah,
yeah, they were like very basic. So
yeah.
then this one just came out better, and because I like the ombre color better, and it actually this was something that I changed with another prompt where like here's you can see the notes here. I think yeah. So
Yeah,
like here were the
scroll
notes.
down a little bit then so we can see the whole thing, please.
Yeah. So then like my buddy's notes, and then I put the prompt like way at the bottom. Like I dumped the notes and then said, "Hey, make a pretty dark mode, purple and orange dashboard." I think the
So,
word "pretty" probably helped it go, from the previous idea to this one.
oh, absolutely. I didn't use pretty one time. I used the word fun, and
Ooh,
it does that with a font. It makes it a gradient like that. Like if you say fun, I've seen,
yeah.
and it uses all sorts of emojis. I've seen that multiple times.
Ooh, that's a good pro tip then. And then, oh, since I specified please make it dark mode, it also gives you a light mode, but it kind of made little black blocks if you do it that way, which is cool too. So
So you
the
made
first
this again
iteration of it,
for your other things that you're involved with,
my other
right?
job,
Like your other
my,
job,
my,
yeah.
my other projects.
Your projects,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
So
this
this was a
was
tool specifically for that, right? Yeah.
yeah, because this is, kind of fun to just see like what does it come up with? Two, this is actually kind of useful because what I think was cool was if you look at my notes are very not thrilling. That's why we like data viz, right? We like the data visualization like this. Because if you look at this and then you have to sit here and think through this, ugh, that is not fun. But if you go over here and you go, because basically I was I was comparing our vibe coded dashboard with the CK pool
AI
dashboard.
first.
Oh, say that again.
AI first.
AI first, baby. Um, oh yeah, I need to be like
You need.
I
I
need
need to
like a
get
little
you a
sound
buzzer.
effect. Yeah, there you go. Mhm. So this is the only time when the two dashboards lined up accurately was at the 2 o'clock hour, which I thought was interesting because I wouldn't have known that reading through a list info. So I like how it gives you, pretty accurate data viz. It didn't understand at first that the party had stopped. So like it looked at all of the times, and I also asked this, I asked Shakespeare to do this at like 3 p.m. So it probably still thought the party was going on because I put like 3:04 p.m. in here. So it still thought it was live. So it had this like live hash rate window up here. So I said, get rid of that and take the bottom, block of text, which was the peak performance block. I was like, put that at the top. So I had it rearrange all of this stuff for me the way I liked it. It's in purple and orange. Also, this looks here. Let me go over here because this actually, it's funny. In the preview window, it looks almost like it's in mobile, but it's just the preview window. But if you look down here, I think it lines up. Yeah, it lines up all of my little homemade statistics better. So it ended up like it's pretty accurate. I don't think it hallucinated here, other
Are
than
you
when
on
it
another
initially
screen? Right?
just.
Are you on another screen or tab right now?
Oh yeah, did I blow out my view there
Yeah.
the way I have it set up?
So you opened it up in another tab, but you're only sharing this tab.
Ah, well, that makes sense. I should just share the whole screen.
You can
Wait,
also
need to.
drag the middle. Yeah. So you can also drag the middle slider bar like over to the left hand side
Oh,
and to make it the right hand side larger.
here. Now you can see it.
Whoa.
All right.
There we go.
There we go. Sorry for the inception moment there. All right. So if you look at the Shakespeare screen, it looks kind of crooked, like right here. But then if you look at it in the big screen, and the layout's just a little bit different. So that's kind of cool because at first I was like, it made it crooked, but no, it really just followed my notes and did exactly what I told it to do.
Mm-hmm.
So like where I had little extra notes, it made an extra note. And then I kind of like for the rest of the day, the rest of the 6 hours, I kind of copied and pasted over and over this format. And so you could tell where I realized I should do that at 10 a.m. Rather than work hard. So yeah, that was one thing that I made. And then here was another thing that I made. Today, I've been playing with the idea of a habit tracker, and where you just kind of go, what do I want to do? It's just okay. Drink water. Why is this habit important to you? We'll just say because I live in the desert, of course. And you can make it have a little color, and we'll drink water daily. And then you have a little habit tracker here, and you can say that you drank your water.
Interesting. So, all right. So I need to know multiple things. So, on the
Hmm.
first example, that's awesome because that's a nice tool for you. But I'm thinking, right, like you could probably make this better. How can you make this better? Because
Oh yeah.
you entered all of that information statically, right? Like you gave it
Hmm.
hard coded facts, didn't pull the information, the data from anywhere. So that website
Right.
is only good for this week, and then next week, if you want to have new data, like you'd have to keep adding it, and there's essentially no back end for it, right? It's all just displayed statically. So
I think
thinking,
so.
which is fine as like a one-off tool, but if you wanted to use it in the future for like every block party and track that, there needs to be a way to have, there needs to be some type of back end to either store the data or to retrieve the data from. So,
Like a little database.
well, yeah, you could absolutely use a database, but then I'm thinking, well, this is Noster and relays are databases. So ultimately,
Mm.
like you would want to use Noster to store all of this data. So you would enter all of this data
Mm.
somehow, through your website, and then you would retrieve it from by querying the relays for the data. So then you could use essentially Nostr as your relay, or I'm sorry, as your database for this, or you could not.
Ooh.
If you wanted to just have it be static and centralized and only located on blockpartytracker.com, or whatever, then that's fine too.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah, because we'll do them like every 2 weeks. So
yeah,
then
so
it's.
so that's just something that people kind of need to think about, like
Hmm.
is part of the planning phase whenever you're doing an app, vibe coding an app. You kind of need to think a little bit about your end result goal. What do you want to use it for? Where's the information live at? How does it get new information? Like it's kind of that's like
Mm. I
advanced
wonder if like
advanced
one thing
stuff.
I could do since I use like competing data here, like CK Pool's dashboard versus our
Yeah,
dashboard.
yeah.
Um,
Yes.
I
So
could actually like
so
I could
if there is
enter the
a
best.
dashboard, like there is an API that you can pull this from, right, or some of this from.
Not with CK Pool. Like we need a server, but what I could do is just eliminate like one of these and go with like accurate internal data and just like keep to a few data points and then maybe put it in a spreadsheet or some
Yeah.
or maybe a
I
list or
mean, a
I don't know
spreadsheet
some.
is just a
There's
poor
gotta be
man's
a
database.
true.
I mean, that's literally all
Um,
it is. Like a spreadsheet is literally just a bunch of columns and commas or tabs or something, and then you
true.
could essentially use that as a poor man's flat database file. I mean, that's really what it is.
Yeah.
So then
Well, because then it becomes like instead of like where did that go? Never mind. Keep talking.
well,
Oh, this right here.
this kind of gets back to the design phase. Like, not only design isn't just how do I make something look pretty and where do I want a menu to be. It's kind of like
Mhm.
how do you want the data to be structured. Now that's a little bit more technical for a lot of people, but you do need to think about that. Like, where is that data going to live, and do you want your web page to continue to update, or is it just going to only show this one source of data forever? So let's talk about the other site real quick, Heather.
Mhm.
Where does that data live? The events that you're remind me to drink water or whatever, and tracking that, does that the habit tracker? Yeah, does that
I
live on
haven't heard.
Noster? Did it create
That's a yeah.
a
That's
new
a
kind?
Noster.
So did it make a new kind for this or something? Like, I'm
Let's
curious.
see.
Let's let,
Here's one where it doesn't look the
let's
same in
let's
here in
do
this
some
window, but
reading here. Let's see what it did.
so can you make me or can you describe me the MVP for habit tracker? So it did, and then this is very, very like
Let's
human written, and
Yeah,
then it comes
data
to data
structure. Yeah,
architect.
yeah. So it's going to use a replaceable an addressable event,
And
and
then more English for people,
yeah, I'm just curious
people
because
like me.
I mean the average person doesn't need to know some of this stuff, but it depends obviously.
Right.
Like
Like basic.
you may want to know how your app works
And
because
sometimes I notice in here, like,
there you go. So it's gonna use a random kind number it chose in the addressable event range.
and sometimes in here it shows me, here's another one. It'll show me the nips it's thinking about using when it
Yeah,
starts to get to work. But
yeah.
today it did this.
It'll
Yeah.
try to figure out the best nip that fits, and then if it doesn't use it, it'll come up with its own custom nip, and then the nip MD file, so you could open that up and actually look at it.
And isn't that better than me trying to figure that out?
Well, yeah, yeah.
That's like
Well,
I would just read GitHub and be like, what do I do?
and I'll say, most of the time it gets stuff right, but sometimes when things get more complex, um,
Yes,
it
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 might
like it all depends on the type of app. Like, if you're doing a very complex app, then you might need to look at the nips that it's using and make sure that it's doing it right. Like, if you are, I forget the example. It was somebody last week or maybe 2 weeks ago. We were doing a demo of something, and it wanted to use the classified ads nip for something that wasn't classified ads, and I was like,
oh.
that it was the yo-yo guy. Oh my god, Mike Monty.
Oh,
Remember?
I got confused.
Well,
Yeah.
he wanted to make a yo-yo community website and to show all the different community aspects. And he wanted to show videos, he wanted to show pictures, comment board, and everything for yo-yos. So he basically said, he had a nice prompt that he used Chat GPT to make, and then he told Shakespeare to make the yo-yo community website, and it said, I'm going to use NIP99 classifieds. And I'm like, okay, it should not have used that. That makes zero sense. Maybe it
That's
got hung
funny.
up on like one section where he said he wanted to be able to maybe sell yo-yos or something. I don't know, but that's not the right nip. So I'll say the majority of the time you don't really care about the nips. You don't care what it picks. but sometimes you do. AI can make
Yeah. So
mistakes. So I'll say it's good to review it. And if uh, you don't have to be technical to know that I want to create a community site and it says use classified ads for it, to know that that doesn't make sense. Like
mhm.
you're not gonna do storytelling in the newspaper in the classified ad section, right? That
I
doesn't make
mean,
any sense.
look at how many nips it has to choose from.
Oh
It's
yeah,
going to hallucinate on some of these
yeah, but
and just be like,
that's my point, is that it's not perfect. So we need to kind of
yeah,
you need to double check the AI, right? Like it's not perfect yet.
yeah.
You need to double check. So what's this Tunester song request? Is that a new one as well?
That's a new one. Well, I tried it several different times because I was experimenting with tunes to request. So this was the original idea, and this is one. This is here's a problem for you to solve. Where I couldn't get this one to work because I wanted to make a dashboard, and so now that I'm logged in, so then you can view the requests, and you can see like I made a song request here, and then I had trouble deleting the test requests. So I was working with it on debugging that and kind of like walked away and came back. So actually, it's refreshing here. But the idea was that, like, say, like last week we had a Tunester show in Nashville. And so it was like, maybe people could request songs from the
Yeah.
performers. Now, in this case, it was Nashville Rounds, so they're all playing original material. But let's say that you had maybe you're a cover band in a bar, or you're like a dueling pianos kind of two-person show in a bar,
Yeah.
and people want to request songs that they know. They could do that here. So you can go over and submit your request. So this is not too complicated in itself, and I asked it to give me an admin panel and whitelist, my NPub and some other NPubs who would want to come in here and view requests and then like delete them once they get played, or maybe have like a live show of like what people are requesting. So like if you're at a show, the idea would be I would have a QR code up by the stage and maybe you scan it. It comes up on your phone. You type in your song request and kind of maybe familiarize people with the idea of getting the QR code just pulled up on your phone at a live show to take an action. Because a lot of the times with Tunester, what we're trying to teach people to do is make a lightning payment from the audience at the show. And to
Yeah.
do that, we have a leaderboard so people can see how much money is coming in from Zaps. So people see the artists are getting paid. So here's just like another extension of using that tool of like, hey, people are at a show, they can just dial up on their phone, make a request on their phone, because this is super, this will be super simple on a phone, right? But here's directions anyway.
Yeah.
so
No, I think that's a
so
good use case. It really is. I mean, it's a good use case for two reasons. One, it's overly useful for live shows and any live performer. But you
Mhm.
again, like, this shows that you wanted a tool. You don't really care how many people use it. It was
Mhm.
mostly for you or your inner circle of people that would use this. Like
Yeah.
you're making something that didn't easily exist elsewhere, and you're like, hey, I need this tool to do my thing, and you told it, and it did it.
Yeah, so what's actually fun about this is I kept kind of reiterating because if we go back to this was like $37. I didn't get it quite working the way I wanted to yet, but I was going to keep going back and working on it. But then I was like, well, what if I change the prompts? And if you change the prompt, here's one that I really liked. And I came up with somebody else's website and I said, duplicate the site. This guy actually is like a dueling pianos artist and he has this. And so I gave them this website, copy this guy's site, but make it in the style of
Ooh,
Toonster
I like that. Yeah,
and
yeah.
dark mode. And so
That's a
like
good
this,
prompt. No, that's a good prompt. That's really good.
yeah, it came out really pretty, and I like the visual on this one best, but the song requests don't load in.
Yeah.
And that's with me logging in. So this might be too simple. Or we could go dig through here and see, what it did. And so I kind of kept going on this idea and then it didn't go with that one. There was another one that came up with a different look, and I'm gonna find it. Where oh, here's this one looks really good too. Oh, this is where it totally misunderstood what I wanted it to do. So I made like a huge long it's very specific. I want to make a song requesting site that would work as a companion site to Toonster during live music shows. So from somewhere in here, it hallucinated and it just fed in live events from Zap.stream because Toonster is a fork of Zap.stream. So it decided from this prompt that this is what I wanted, which wasn't it.
Yeah,
So that was a funny thing to me. But if you wanted to make a website that just listed live events from Zap's stream, like you could just do that. You could ask it to do that. It'll obviously do that, but that's not what I specifically asked it to do.
yeah. No, and that's kind of gets into you need to be very specific in the prompt, and you need to sometimes lay out exactly how you want things to work.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just going to take a best guess, and
Yeah. So that's
it doesn't truly know your vision, and it's going to try to interpret it as best it can.
right. So that's where you can kind of use this trick where it's like, describe me an MVP or minimum viable product for Habit Tracker. And then you get kind of this cool little, where did my Habit Tracker go? One of these windows. There we go. And so then it came up with kind of like probably too much of a plan, but I was like, sure, make that, make this. This sounds good. And it did.
Yeah,
And so then, this is what it looks like. Here, we'll open it up again just because it really took the minimalism like to the core. Like it was black and white.
let's make this minimal. Yeah,
And so then if you log in with your extension, authorize forever. This is a different one that I made too. On this is
I
like
love the name of the domain. Can you describe me a at
yeah,
the end?
it was. This is one from yesterday. This is one I did today. This is one from yesterday where it was like, oh, okay, because like, okay, let's make a new habit, And so then let's say, run a mile, um, to say for a marathon. I don't know, and we'll say daily target category. Wow, fitness. We'll run a mile every day. It's not actually how you train for a marathon, but we'll humor it right now. And so then let's see if it worked. I don't see where it came up. So let's see. Sometimes I have to refresh it though. There we go. So there it is. So then if we push the button to say we ran our mile, here's where you find out what the kinds are. I got a streak. So this one has some streaks. Did this one have streaks?
Yeah,
And like a little percentage bar, maybe.
yeah,
Like a progress.
yeah. I like it.
Progress. So yeah, so like you can. These were two different
So
prompts, which is
there's
cool too.
Kate has a question. So where would the habits be hosted? So the web page, the habit tracker with daily, weekly, like that is hosted on Shakespeare.to. But
Mhm.
all of your habits, all of your content is saved on Nostr relays.
Yeah, and that's a question I have too. Because like, what if I want my habits to be private? Can I select a private relay?
Well, so yes and no. So this is where you get into that kind of like technical understanding of stuff. So
Okay.
the majority of stuff on Nostr is public. So if you would
Mhm.
select a private relay, it would have to be a relay that you use, you own. It would have to be a relay that has authorization that only allows you to download your notes like nobody else can, which that
Mhm.
exists. Now, you can also do a private relay hosted on from Cloudfodder from Noster1.com. He does. He has
Ah.
the authorization NIP. I think it's NIP 98 authorization. However, there's another method that you could do this. You could encrypt everything, NIP 44 encryption, and you could
Hmm.
you could you could say I want these to be private encrypted events that only I
Ah.
can decrypt and use NIP 44. Like that's literally what you would put as your prompt, and it would encrypt everything with your private key, and only you can decrypt them. So you could
That's
host.
cool.
So you could host all of this. It, think of it as like DMing yourself. and that's not really what it's doing, but that's basically what it's doing. Is that it when you DM yourself, you would decrypt the message to yourself, and that's essentially what this does. And it's
Because it was funny when I made when I was making this one and I was doing test song requests, like this showed up as a kind OneNote on my feed.
yeah.
So like you never know, like
So here's a great tip when you're vibe coding stuff, and I don't follow it all the time, and I wish I did. You should always log in with a test NSEC to test it first.
mm,
So when it says sign up or sign in,
mhm.
generate a new NSEC and click sign up. Or you can have the same test NSEC that you made one time and use for all your apps. You don't have to regenerate a new one every single time. But I use a test account that I have the NSEC saved on my machines, and if I don't, I generate a new one. But I do it specifically for this reason. So if I were to do something and it would post a kind one note, I don't want like everybody on Nostr to be like, "What the hell is this?" like so. but
Yeah.
also you don't know how it's going to act, right? Like it's part of the testing process. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if it's going to work, how it's going to post, what it's going to do. So that first login, yeah, you can log in with your own NSEC, whatever. But whenever you're wanting to actually use it to test features, I would use a test NSEC and test it, see it, see if it works and is going to work how it's supposed to, and then
Mhm.
you can go back and log in with yourself later. Kate says the coding content is distributed and using Shakespeare will generate a URL, presumably has a lifespan. So I'll say ultimately that this URL that is generated, tunes to request 75m.shakespeare.2, I view this as a testing and quality assurance preview URL that if it's something that you want to see stay around forever, then you should probably host it yourself. Like
Mhm.
for we'll say for the foreseeable future, sure, it'll be around, but long term, I wouldn't count on it just because you never know. Like this is more of a courtesy to get it out there so you can use it publicly, people can test it publicly, you can use it for a while, and then if after you use it for a month or 2 or 3 months you're like, hey, I really like this, I want to buy my own domain name or host it on my own website, and then you can do that and you can download all the code. There's a button inside Shakespeare you can click to download the code, or you can go to that website /sourcecode.zip and download it too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like, would this expire though?
I
Like,
mean,
say, like,
I
will
mean,
this be around and working 60 days from now, for example?
sure.
Like,
Yeah.
still as this URL? Okay, because I think a lot of AI builders, because of usage or whatever, or
Well, I'll
database
I'll say
usage, I
as
think they
far as I
expire.
know, we don't have a time limit on that. I mean,
Cool.
maybe that's something that we should consider in
Let's
the
see if we go
future.
back down here.
To
Where's my oldest one? I don't remember when I made these.
Well, right, like
There's some
maybe we
old
tell
ones in
people,
here.
hey, we'll host it for 90 days or a year or something like that. But right now that's not built. There's nothing built in
Yeah,
to delete automatically. But that also doesn't mean that you know we don't go in there and clean stuff out or blow stuff up. Like long term storage,
yeah,
you should try to do it yourself. But
yeah. Just
I'll
refresh.
tell you an example, Kate. What I do is I build something, and if I start to use it, or I want other people to use it, and other people start to use it, then I think long term and I buy a domain name and I host it. Now we want to have that be easier for people that don't know how to do those type of things. You click a couple buttons and can do it through other tools
Mhm.
or other providers. We're actually working on that now for the next version. We're in a whole bunch of discussions. So when Act 2 comes out in the near future, you'll be able to do some of these types of things with a little bit of ease, kind of like you said, like Replit does, or like what Lovable does, things like that. Or maybe you click a button and it automatically deploys to GitHub Pages or Vercel or something like that.
Look at that. And say I probably have some older things in here. I don't think
Well,
they're
yeah,
showing up
exactly. Like
because
like you can pay and you build it, and if you spend little bit of money to have it built, like if you spent $10, then maybe you don't care about it. But If you spend
Right.
$100 on something, and like, okay, you might care about that. You might want it to live on, and if you're using it every day, sure, you're definitely going to want it to live on. So you're going to think,
Yeah, like
but the data
most
lives
of these
on,
are a few bucks.
yeah, but the data
They're
lives
pretty
on
cheap.
master relays. So the data is only as good as those relays. So again, it depends on the type of application that you build. If you want it to be around, to the end of time, then maybe you host the data yourself on your own relay. Maybe you
Yeah.
pay for a premium relay, and you host the data there. Like, you have all sorts of options. That kind of gets back to what kind of app are you building. Would you be angry if your habit tracker data disappeared in 2 years? Who knows?
Yeah, that's it's like how important is it to you that you ran a mile or whatever, or this could be something to where like I don't know, maybe you work really hard on a habit for 90 days and that's all you care about, and you just have this. Maybe it's on your phone as a little PWA app, and
Yeah.
maybe you make
Well,
a
it depends. Like I
you
said,
know.
it's part of the use case. Like, who's going to use it? Do you know
Mhm.
how to host it elsewhere, and can you click a few buttons? But
Yeah,
we'll try to
is it
make
just for
that
me? Is it for
easier
me
in
and
the
my
future.
friends? Like you can get fancy with this too. Like if you really wanted to, you could be like, maybe me and my three friends will train for a marathon together, and maybe we'll all log into it and log our runs and cheer each other on. Like you could do something like that too.
You could even have a
Like
cheer button.
you could. Like you could have a little Derek Ross taser button
You could
every
do
time
that. You
he's
could do that too. Every time he says something, I was a smart ass. It zaps him. Yeah.
you know.
Um. No, that's a. Yeah, those are good questions, Kate. Thank you. Do you do you have any other questions you'd like to ask about this?
Stop sharing. You can
I
see
vibe
what you're
coded on an
doing.
airplane, or I'm sorry, I AI first developed on an airplane. I was coming back from Helsinki yesterday, and is payment in Sats fixed? Um, you can you mean the conversion to dollars? Like
Or just paying in
you're
sats, because
just
I think
paying
we had
in
problems with the
you're just
node.
paying in Sats, and the conversion is done at that amount of time. Like if you pay 10,000 Sats, and the price of Bitcoin is $100,000. You mean, so you get $10 worth of credit, and then if Bitcoin goes up to 200,000 the next day, do you automatically get $20 of credit? No, it's
Derek,
fixed.
I assume she means is it fixed because it was broken
Oh,
during the Odell's live stream? And the answer
okay.
to that is yes, it is. We fixed our liquidity.
Oh, I thought like fixed as in like fixed price. My bad.
It's all good.
Yeah, Gleason said on Citadel Dispatch it was acting up. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Due to time zone differences, I didn't get to see any of that. I was going to bed when it started. But yeah, that's fixed. It works now. It was a lightning issue. Running a lightning node is hard, but it's
Yes.
fixed. Um,
By the way, it is on Citadel Dispatch YouTube now, or wherever you get your Citadel Dispatch fix. People can watch or listen.
they can watch it be
Yeah.
broken.
Well, no, I mean like you didn't get to watch it, but
Yeah,
you can watch
I
it
need to
now.
watch it. I do. I said I would watch it, and well, I've only been home for like not even 24 hours yet. Not even like 18 hours yet. I will watch it.
Oh yeah.
I will. But yeah, it's fixed. You'll be able to pay in Sats, pay your invoice. Sorry for misunderstanding. Thank you, MK, for understanding.
I got you.
Hello, you were. I don't. Even, I'm gonna say I don't know if you were, but there was a hello here last week. Are you the same hello? If so, do you have any questions? Would you like to say hello? So when I was on the airplane, I had an idea came to me, and the first half of the trip, I couldn't. I was trying to buy internet access, and I couldn't buy internet access. Like, it kept saying satellite payment processor down. I was like, what the fuck? I want internet. Anyways, I I finally was able to get internet, and I had an idea why I was angrily not having internet. Um, my mind was racing just thinking about different things, and I thought about algorithms and Noster, and I can't showcase it because it's on a different computer. It's on a different laptop, so I'll have to break it out and show it next week. But it doesn't also fully work either. But I had an idea to build an open algorithm weight system. For 2+ years, I've been saying on Noster, you can be your own algorithm and choose your own algorithm. But we don't, and we've been talking about algorithm stores. Like Will literally talked about it like 2.5 years ago, and we still don't really have an algorithm store. We have a DVM marketplace, a feed marketplace, but we don't
I would
have.
choose a cat algorithm.
Well,
Like,
you know
give
what?
me cat
You could
content.
do that actually. So I made it. I made it. Doesn't really work that well yet, but I only have like one pass at it, so it'll work eventually. But the idea behind it is that you get to choose your own weights and on things. So you get to choose
Mm.
how important zaps are to you, how important comments are, how important reactions are, how important keywords are, age of content, things like that. So you get to apply a weight to all of these things, and then
Ooh.
you get to build your own algorithm, and then it downloads the notes, all content from your network or outside your network for the past 24 hours, and then sorts it all for you basically. Um,
That'd be cool.
it doesn't work as well as I want it to, but that it will eventually. But anyways, that I did that on an airplane. I can't showcase it right now because I said it's on a different computer, and I didn't push it out to GitHub to pull it down yet, and I still didn't unpack yet. So next week I will break it out and hopefully be able to report back that it's working a little bit. So it'll be a neat,
That sounds super serious.
yeah, it'll be, if I can actually get it to work, it'll be a neat idea. And then every client, if they wanted to, because it stores the weights as a configure, like it stores your weights as a replaceable, addressable event. So clients could then pull in these events, and you could add them then as different feeds, and it would. I mean, each client would have to figure out how to, apply that algorithm, the weight system to the data that they have on their client. But basically, they already have it all locally stored anyways. So they just,
So I can
yeah. So we'll see if I can half-ass this to work.
so I
it
could wait like
it
cat
might
content and basketball content. Like
yeah, you could do that. And I mean, I don't know. It might be a bad idea. It may not work how I want it to, but I want to play around with it when time permits
yeah.
and see if I can get it to work.
That's what makes this fun is it's like, well, what if I prompt it this way? Or what if I build the app this way? And then maybe I don't like three things. So take away three things, but let me add in something else I didn't think of before. It like turns into this snowball effect of like, oh,
Yeah,
what if I could do
well,
this?
it becomes addicting. I realized that a couple months ago. That once you figure out how to properly build things, then you just want to build all your ideas. You just want to keep going and
Exactly.
see how it all works out.
I have a mental list, and then there's like an actual list on my phone of like, I should vibe code this. Like I have a vibe coding list. Oh, I probably just got tased a few times just for saying that. But
Yeah, well,
you know,
that's okay.
I've got lists.
I don't think she's listening.
There, she's just ignoring us as well. She
Well,
should.
MK, I didn't ask you. Do you have anything that you were vibe coding that you would like to share? Got to ask everybody. Not everybody
Yeah,
has to participate, but I like to ask everybody.
we never know. MK could be vibe coding something amazing that just she hasn't told us about yet.
Well,
We don't know.
we'll have to someday. I'll tell you what. I want her to show her one app that she showed me. I don't know, like 2 months ago or so, and I don't know if she's worked on it. She's been pretty busy, but it's a cool app. It's a cool idea. It's
Was
out
that
there.
Bookster?
What?
Was it
No,
Bookster?
no. But I will say that she did say at one point she was going to try to update. Like Bookster was done like either before MK Stack or even became a thing, I believe. So I know she wants to update that. But I'm talking about uh, your space.
Oh yeah, that is actually on our website. Hang
Yeah.
on,
It well, it's on
it's
there.
actually
It's
there in
on there
the.
because of the MK Stack hashtag, but I don't think it's fully complete yet. Maybe it is. It
I
wasn't the
don't
last
know.
time I
I'll
checked,
find it though.
but it's pretty cool. I think it's a
God,
neat
my
idea.
internet's slow today.
We'll get her
My
to
internet
fix
does
that.
not want to cooperate.
Kate,
I'll find it though.
do you AI first develop, or are you just getting started or about to get started?
Actually, I have been, I come from the world of product development and physical computing. So I take more of a problem definition approach to whatever it is that we're building.
Okay.
So I have been working with and testing all sorts of tools out, hence why I'm here.
Very cool.
Um, Interesting, Heather, that you have one of my first, I have a life balance app as well that I was doing as a fairly, because I have a fairly, I like to think of it as being sophisticated program for
Cool.
that's all color coded, and I've been doing it for hand by hand for years and years and years. So anyway, I tried to, but I ended up getting so mad at ChatGPT on trying to make that. And so I've been bouncing around with different tools, but I have a variety of other different things. I have writing. I actually wrote a book on early stage prototype development. So
Oh,
there's
nice.
that, and a client care
Cool.
bot based on another book, and a number of different essays that I've written on different things that I'm sort of trying to find. I mean, Replit has been a really interesting place to sort of develop these kinds of tools based on
Oh,
my
absolutely.
writing. So I'm interested to see what I thought was interesting about Shakespeare here is that Bitcoin tie-in, right? That you
Yeah.
can be
Right.
paying to play and as you go, pay as you go, right? I actually
Mhm.
just canceled my Chat GPT Plus because I'm like, that's it. I'm fed up with it, and it got so many things wrong. I tried to
Yeah.
get
And it's very expensive too. Like the
well.
way
I mean,
the way it
what did
works.
you say, Heather? You $37? I mean, I don't know
Right.
for what I was able to do
Yeah.
with it. But I found that I had these failures happening. Like I was wanting to do sign language for various short forms for that law enforcement uses. This is getting way
Hmm.
into the weeds here.
Oh, that's
So,
cool. So,
but it
like your
was
10 codes? It's
yes,
sign language for
or
10 codes?
like, do you know what JDLR means? This just doesn't look right. So
Yeah.
sorry if I've doxed all of the law enforcement. Anyway, so to do that as a hand sign, I was like, oh, that might be interesting. But do you think it could possibly generate an image that would do this for me, right? And I found myself getting mad at it. This is just like
That's
a
interesting. Yeah, because
this.
ChatGPT should be multimodal, but you kind of don't know what you're going to get.
Well, actually, what I found is that being and I think that good problem definition dovetailed with better prompting will generate better outcomes, right?
Oh,
So,
absolutely. Yeah, learning how to
uh,
prompt is extremely important, and it's a trial and error
Yeah.
thing. Like you just don't know what you're gonna get until you do it.
yeah, I mean, my hand signals was just something I pulled out of my ass. I could have gone and looked at the AL cell A to Z and figured it out myself, but I was just like noodling around, right?
Yeah,
So, I mean,
It's actually a good question. Like one of our developers, oh, I might be echoing a little bit. Am I okay?
you're good now.
Um, okay. One of our developers, Chad, he made this tarot deck tool called Nostradamus, and I've always wondered, well, where does it pull all the tarot card info from? So like, there's Derek might be able to answer this because it's like there's got to be a
Yeah.
place where it would pull the ASL like flashcard type thing
So
from.
so you would need to have just an existing data source, and if they have an API, you would say use this data source API.com. Here's the API documents or something like that, and you would just feed it all of that. Like if the data exists elsewhere, it can pull it in and use it.
Well, it is all my fault in putting a shitty prompt together, really, and it doesn't really matter. I think whatever know your tool
Yep.
and how to it all relies back on the developer, and putting together any kind of product development starts with good problem definition
Oh,
at the outset.
absolutely.
So
Mhm.
Yeah.
again, it is what it takes to get there. So it's interesting what's being provided here with what the whole point of. I'm curious about what LLMs. I mean, Gleason went on about that a little bit.
Yeah. So
Um,
like right now, it's based on like right now it is using ZAI's um, GLM 4.5 and GLM Flash. Previously, we were using Sonnet by Anthropic and then Gemini Flash by Google. But we changed recently. But in upcoming new versions, you'll be able to use any AI LLM that you want to use, even local. So if you were running something locally, you could tie in and use that too. So that's all coming down the pipeline.
yeah, we'll
Patrick
see.
popped in too.
Hey, Patrick.
I'll poke it with a stick and try it out and see what kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
usability there is there.
Oh, absolutely. You mentioned prototyping and stuff, and I think that's around prototyping. I think that's one thing that I would like to see in the future come better prepared with Shakespeare and other LLMs, other tools like MK Stack and so forth. Just more test scripts, more testing, because I think that people don't understand how important testing is, and that AI doesn't get stuff right, and
Right.
it's very very tedious to go down and do all of this type of automated and advanced testing that people just don't know how to do and don't know from the like the corporate development world that goes into this. So they are production like applications, but they do need a lot of testing still. So I'm hoping in the future we'll be able to have like some advanced test scripts and some automated testing to make applications better for people and to do the testing that they don't know how to do.
Yeah, everybody wants to talk about everything but debugging sometimes, and like I like that I dove deep into playing with it and debugging it last week. That one day, it was a week ago, where it was like, can I debug this and make it work? And like it actually like I got pretty far debugging, but it would make the same mistakes over and over. So it ended up being a good learning experience for me,
Yeah.
definitely for like an end user who's not interested in having that learning experience. Like you just want it to work. You're not going to spend more than 10 or 20 minutes debugging anything. Like where I'm like fully committed, like I'm going to figure this out.
No,
You want it to be
I think
kind of easy.
I think as our tools, like speaking specifically for like Shakespeare, as it gets better in the future, and as
Mm-hmm.
like the command line version stuff, like Stacks gets better in new versions when you're able to switch LLMs. A lot of that debugging stuff will get better too. Because like right now, the workflow is if you're stuck in on one bug, you try a different tool, you try a different LLM, but you're kind of
Yeah.
shoehorned right now into only using really one thing with Shakespeare. So, and if it's stuck in a bug, you got to work through it. And if you're not technical enough to get through it, it could take a long time. It could maybe worst case
Yeah.
scenario not get fixed at all, or cost you $100 or $200. So I think in the future it'll get even easier and better whenever let's say you like Google, for example, and you're using Gemini and Gemini can't fix it, and then you would say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna go for the more expensive because I know that Claude Opus 4.1 will definitely fix this, and I don't mind spending a little bit of money to definitely fix it or something. And you switch to the top AI model, and then it fixes it, and then you switch back to Google because it's cheap or something like that to do everything else.
Yeah.
Like once that capability is there, I think that debugging, vibe debugging will get a lot easier for people because maybe they only want to, they don't have a problem spending $10 to fix a prompt, or I'm sorry, $10 to fix a bug with one prompt on the best AI that's available, and then they can go back to the cheap stuff for like features or something like that.
Actually,
Yeah, too,
I'm just going to jump in before I have to bounce here, but leave you with one thing here of and again, I come from a different, like in the physical computing world, right, where this idea of problem definition at the outset generates better MVPs. So this software is really, really bad for spending a lot of time trying to clean up messes when maybe they should have spent a little more time in a theoretical space trying to hammer out what on earth it is that you're trying to do. Like, notwithstanding this goofy thing that I did before going to sleep about the ASL signing, that is really off the side of my desk. But coding's being done like that, and it ought not to be, in my opinion. And I think I'm right. So
no, you're absolutely right. I come from the same world as you do, and in my development team, they don't begin to work on anything until business analysts deliver them a technical spec, like the full spec sheet. And coming from that angle and applying that here, it absolutely is right. The problem is that this is so easy where you can just have a conversation. So people that aren't used to that, they just start talking like, hey, I want this. Hey, I want that. I want this and that. Do this, do that. And that's fun and easy until you realize that there's so much better way to do it. If you can lay everything out in like a massive design document and then say, hey, build what I typed in this document, you get so much better results that way.
Well, I don't know that it needs to be a technical analyst. We have some powerful tools in our hands. And I've been listening to Marty was saying the other day, like Marty Bent was talking about, like the ideas person can be the one that does the work now. And it's like, okay, well, why not internalize an appropriate approach to that? And it does start with, okay, what are good principles of design to start with? And I guess just sort of inviting folks to look at that or don't. I'm not necessarily saying that you can't arrive at some sort of great outcome, but I mean, save yourself the time and frustration of debugging with maybe getting something more robust as an MVP right at the outset because you set it up right.
Yeah, I've
with
had
a few
success
tools.
telling one AI to build the prompt for another AI. Like I use ChatGPT.
I've done that too.
ChatGPT.
You can do that in Shakespeare though. I figured that out today. Like with my little
but you're spending credits for that, tokens for that when you you can get ChatGPT 5, a couple prompts of that for free or something like that. So I use that for free to build the spec sheet essentially, and then take it over to Shakespeare or MK Stack or something like that.
Well, anyway, folks, it's been a slice. Thanks so much for letting me in on this, and might see you next week.
Thank you, Kate. Hope to see you next week.
Okay. Take care.
All right, bye-bye. What's up, Patrick? Patrick, would you like to let us know what you've been working on? I know one thing you've been working on. I saw it this morning. Is Patrick here?
He's unmuted, but I can't hear him.
Yeah, no, I can't either.
Does audio work this way? Hello, hello.
Hey. There we go. There he is.
We got you.
Sorry, guys. I missed the first hour of this because I slept through a little bit. I'm still not even awake right now.
That's okay. I was going to bust on you
but
say that you stole another idea of mine.
I did. I was telling Peachy that how much you and I are literally mentally aligned. We're in the same.
This is the third thing that we both have wanted to build. We're on the same same wavelength. It's pretty cool,
right?
Yeah.
Now, which one are you talking about? That literally, two of them this week I've launched are literally both things that you've done.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, actually, there's actually 4. If we go back to Noster Spaces and Noster Nest, that's 4, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's date ourselves here. So Noster Nest, Noster Spaces. We have Noster Cal and Plectos. It's 2. We have Noster Valley and Lexington Bitcoin Meetup or whatever.
Oh
And,
yeah.
and then we have
Nostra Music and
Noster Music and Zap Tracks. That's 4. Oh, and 5 is the new one.
yeah.
5.
What?
And then the 5th thing is you have Vlogster and I have Zapix with Flicks.
Yeah.
So what are we building next, man? What's our 6th app?
The one I built this morning was a
all right. So I'll
debug
copy
tool.
you. Yeah, it's about time we go the other way around. No, I'll copy you this time.
Oh my
I
god.
can find what I built this
All right,
morning.
so I would love to see what you built, brother. Let's see it.
I have to do some digging. I'm not.
We just need to form a super awesome development team. You and I.
Yeah,
We'll
neither of
Right?
you
we'll just take over
sleep
Noster,
anymore. You
man.
guys are just you're just rebuilding Noster from the
Yeah,
Shakespeare up or the MK stack up.
yeah. Well he's doing other AI first development with Purple Stack too with Android, which is awesome. I haven't dug into that yet, but so he's kicking ass there.
Purple Stack's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I need to check that out.
It's bad when you make something you don't know its name, so you're sitting here trying to find the name of the project that you
You know, if it's I'm gonna shit if it's like an algorithm thing.
No, it's literally just a Gary made vlog for Purple Stack this weekend. So Gary and I was overlapping
What?
all weekend because he
Oh,
he
that's
made
great.
a Purple Stack vlogging type thing.
Very cool.
Man, you cannot sleep around here. These guys have been making so much stuff.
Right. And the when he was trying to publish, he first started just doing Kind 1 events, but then I mentioned to do the just like you had done. Well, it's hilarious. The message you sent me over the weekend when you saw that was
Yeah.
the same thing I sent to Gary literally 6 hours before
Oh,
to a
that's
T, the
funny.
exact same message.
No, that's great. I
And
love
so
that.
then he integrated it. But Purple Stack was building the event without using like iMeta tags.
Okay.
And so I made an event decoder that I can just go throw in like Nostr. It's almost like a Nostr Army knife or whatever, just to throw in an event, get the all the data about it, what relays found it, that sort of thing.
Okay.
And so it let me do some debugging.
Now I'm patrolling through Patrick's feed to see how many things he built that I missed.
Dude, he's a building machine. He is.
Right, the building fool. Oh my god! But building really cool stuff though. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Today my project was trying to do Welshman inside of Nostrcal, and I've not had much success yet.
You know, I just played it. So Welshman is a library that is what's the word compatible. You can integrate it with Nostrify, and you can use it to do some things that is missing from Nostrify. And Nostrify is the library that we use with MK Stack and Shakespeare and all that good stuff. All right, Nostr Event Decoder.
Cool.
So is it just
And then it doesn't work.
it's
Great
just
example.
Knack, right?
It's exactly what it is, but and then it just feeds back like what relays found it.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh wow!
And I wonder why it's not.
So did you make this to test your events? Because I literally, I have njump.me up on another screen, and another tab, and I'm constantly copying the events or the natters and pasting it in there to decode. Or I have another terminal window open and I paste it in and I use Knack, depending on what mood I'm in. But I have that all the time. That's hilarious. Like we have the same workflow too.
You two are twins.
So for those that are watching the recording here and want to know why Patrick and I are geeking out about this, so whenever you create an event on Nostr, sometimes it's an NADDR event or an N event, depending on the type of event that it is. If it's an addressable event or a replaceable event or a static event, that is encoded with a bunch of information. It'll have the event kind, the number, and a bunch of metadata, and then the relays, the relay hints, a lot of times that it'll be found on. So when you vibe code something, you want to know if the data structure is correct And if it's not looking properly whenever you publish it, sometimes you need to look at it to make sure it's doing it right. So you need to decode that really long, ugly natter or end event string. So he made a tool to do that, and I use existing tools to do that.
Oh,
So I use
that's cool.
njump.me, and then I just paste in the event, and then you scroll down to the bottom where it says like JSON, view JSON or something like that, and you can view the JSON and see exactly what it is. But basically, yeah. So you can view all that information, and then you can say, oh, okay, it's structured right, or no, it's not structured right, or oh, it's doing it this way. And then even sometimes you can copy and paste that JSON into whatever LLM tool and agent that you're using and say, this is how it looks. Is this structured right, or you're structuring it wrong? Look at this, or you can use it as a debugging tool. So
Exactly.
I literally use it for every single app. Like so that's awesome. That's
Or
hilarious.
even another thing that I found is like searching for some relays I'll put in and I'll expect to get like a NIP52 event back.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, why the hell is this not working? And it turns out that relay doesn't even support NIP52. So it's
They
just
don't
easy to.
accept that event. They only do like kind one or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it's a very useful thing. So again, that's I'll just put it in the old chat here. njump.me / I'll just say XXX, and you would just paste in XXX. You'd paste in the natter there, or the end event. Or if you like a command line tool, you can use Fiat Jeff's NAC tool, which I use as well. And I'll just paste that in the chat too, so you can see that. You can download that program and run it on your computer. And then you just type NAC decode and then paste in the event, and it'll decode it.
Cool.
Cool. That's awesome, Patrick. So that's so you, Gary, and I, and let's see, Kieran. Kieran has two
Yes.
apps that do NIP7
Free flow or whatever.
free flow, but then he also shows them on zap.stream under the shorts tag too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, all right.
Well, I found a bug with that freaked me out over the weekend that I'll share here since it's just a few of us. That they don't do any validation of the. So one of the tools I built for Peachy was to like manage her
I'm
live
going to share
stream.
this on YouTube just if this is like a game
Okay,
skipping bug. Like,
it's been disclosed for a while, and he knew about it a long time before, so it's not like that big of a deal. But when I saw it, I was like, "Whoa, this is not good!" Because when you stream to Zap.stream, like it's not going off your MPub; it's just going off a P tag from your MPub, and they're actually the one publishing the event. So you can make any RTMP server that pushes out that event, and so I could stream as Jack's NPub, and Zap.stream would show it like it's really coming from Jack, even though it's really not.
Whenever he was developing Nests, we were talking about this like a year and a half ago, and he was saying that we could make it look like Jack is in any room ultimately, and I was like, I don't want to do that, and he laughed, and he's like, that's how Zap.stream is.
when I realized that, I finished the whole thing and I'm streaming as Peachy, and I'm like, wait, I never even gave Peachy's keys. What's going on here? And then I was like, oh crap, I think this is a bad bug. Like I'm gonna hurry up and like make the announcement. Block's doing away with Bitcoin. Like short the company, short Bitcoin.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Send it out that it's Jack's certified Nostr keys coming on Zap.stream.
There's so many apps that don't do validation. They don't like they like. I don't know of any off the top of my head. I mean, there's probably a bunch, but that actually like check the signatures. Because otherwise, if it's just reading, like what if I ran a rogue relay and just added a whole bunch of fake events to a database that looked like you said, like Jack was saying stuff, and the signature wasn't actually valid. It was just bullshit. I don't think that there's too many clients that actually read that information and try to validate the signature.
Yeah, I don't think so.
This is like the dark side of Nostr.
But this was shit that we really like talked about literally 2 years ago, saying that their clients need to start validating the events, and it was like, oh yeah, we'll get to it. It's just an afterthought right now. Like, sure, I get that in the beginning, but like, come on, man, 2 years. There's probably a whole bunch of clients that do this, and there's people that are hearing me say this, like, Derek, we do this now, and that's awesome. I just don't know that you do. I'm sorry if you do it. They probably have been doing it for like a year and a half. Like, we did this like a month later after you were complaining about it, and I was like, well, I don't know, I don't remember, man. Noster moves too fast. You can't stay on top of everything. Well, cool, Patrick. Do you want to show your Vlogster?
Sure.
So apparently on Noster, starting like last week, American Hodl posted a vlog like 2 days in a row, and then everybody's like, "Hey, we need to post vlogs," and then now we're doing it again, like we're posting vlogs.
Oh, cool. Look at that.
So the basic start screen.
Yeah.
Starts in. From there, the heart is your follow feed. So anybody that you're following.
Okay.
Neat.
Very cool.
And then you can zap.
Yeah.
You can do comments. You can scroll through.
Hey, I know that guy.
Grr.
You can jump through that way. Same thing through Discover feed. Hope there's nothing bad here. Not going to jump. It's got a dashboard so you can view like your own videos, try to get some analytics about them.
Oh, wow.
And then there's the settings that have a lot of settings that don't work.
Well, it's early, right? You know.
Yeah, it was literally, I heard about it on the TFTC, and I'm like, okay, I could do that. I'm gonna just mess around with it, see what I can put together. And by that night, there's this.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Definitely.
You use MK Stack though, right?
Yeah, this is all MK Stack here.
Cool.
And then as soon as I find it, I'll pull up Purple Stack here. I'm trying to scroll through my window to find an old.
Have you used any of the stacks? Like,
I'm not.
Well, Purple
Okay.
Stack is a stack.
Yeah. Okay, so you use Purple Stack and that's it.
An MK Stack.
An MK Stack, yeah.
So Purple Stack is the Android equivalent of MK Stack, basically. Well, not just Android, any native app, right? Like it'll do.
Yeah, you can do
it'll do
Xcode.
Windows,
You can
it'll do Linux,
Yeah.
it'll do iOS.
it'll do that. Who mentioned that the other day? I think Franzette mentioned that to me in the chat during Citadel Dispatch.
Yeah. It's,
More than just Android.
I need to try it.
You can make me an iPhone app, Derek. You can get all up in that Xcode and make me an iOS for my phone.
Maybe I'll ask Franzap if he will. You know what? I'll download the Derrickster source code and I'll launch Derrickster for iOS.
There we go.
Develop.
All Derek all the time.
And what would be a good app we can build?
Oh.
Because this is something I would love to have other like knowledgeable Purple Stack, because I'm not efficient in like doing this at all.
Yeah. Well,
I literally build it, then I throw it into Android Studio, and I
you
build it
do,
for my phone, pass it over.
Did you do a Nostercow event yet?
I've got one for Nostercal, but
Okay.
it doesn't do private events. It still needs a lot of work to like
Okay.
get the
You know,
the
an app
private
that I
stuff.
want native and I would use it. I want to be able to view. We got to figure out the design on it, but I want to do highlights on Android. Like we can't do highlights. I want to do highlights. I want to, like, I'm trying to think like the best way to do it, the simplest way to do it. Like I don't know if Purple Stack is the application template for it, but
Like when you highlight text.
yeah. So think about it. You could do it as the share intent. Like if you're viewing a web page in Chrome or whatever browser you're on, you select text, and then you hit the share button, and it brings up the share intent window, and then you select the highlight on Noster, and then it, posts that text, highlights it to Noster. So the app,
Um,
I mean, you could have it the app could just show your highlights, and you would log in. You wouldn't really need to do too much else. Configure your relays and whatnot. But the only action that the application would have was it would add itself as a share target to the share intents. Is there a recipe for doing highlights?
So there's all these different like pre-built custom recipes for it that has, because I don't know anything about Dart, although I did make one for Nostra Music,
Okay.
a custom that has NIP38 to share your status of whatever you're listening to inside the app. So you can build custom
Ooh.
recipes, but FranzApp already has a lot that are pre-built.
Yeah, I see that.
Let's see what we have here.
So he does already have highlights, at least. Okay. Select text to create hides via context menu. That's literally what I just said. You could build this.
So let's build an app.
Let's see if it works.
Oh, shoot. I never initialized this. Please read.
Oh, you have to tell it to read the content or the context.
Yeah, it does. There's not a good pointer that goes to the context that's in the tools folder, and that's one thing I've noticed about Purple Stack. It takes a second to understand the context.
Interesting.
And so right off the start, it will go through, make sure Purple Stack's ready, which I had a while getting to learn how to properly get Purple Stack.
Claude would read claude.md. Is there a claude.md in the directory?
I think there is, but I don't think it properly points back to the tools folder. There's even a context.md, I believe, in the base folder, but
Okay.
it doesn't go to the long written one out that's in the tools folder.
I wonder if it's a symlink issue. I'll have to take a look at it. I'm curious why it doesn't work.
But it automatically go through
Yeah, but you figured out a workaround. Just tell it to go to this directory and read it. All right, so what are we gonna do? So Claude came through and gave us a to-do list. It's going to verify the MCP server. It's going to run a Flutter pub get as required for the first prompt. Check Git history. Check for relevant recipes. Search Android intent documentation. Suggest an app name. Rename the app based on user input. Plan the app architecture and features, and then implement the highlight sharing app. Okay. Did
There's a lot more than
did he add did FranzApp add a way to publish to zap.store automatically?
I don't know if there's one automatic. I've never tried. I always just go through and do the CLI.
Yeah, because I was just curious because basically it would be the equivalent of typing stacks or npm run deploy, and it runs the deploy script and deploys it to Blossom servers. So if there was a similar deploy script or whatever
That'd be
you want
awesome.
to call it Zap Store or something like that, and it just executes the Zap Store build script and submits it or asks questions or whatever and then submits it. That would be sweet. Might be able to figure out how to do that. Suggest app name and get user requirements. What are we gonna call it?
Just as creative as I am. That's about as good as I do.
Yeah.
Just add the TR and go with it.
Yeah. Highlight stir.
Highlight stir.
Yeah, Jeff loves it when we name apps with stir.
Oh, it makes him happy, just like saying GM to him.
If it's literally if it's purple and has stir, he loves it. Like 2 years ago, he made a comment like one day. He's like, there are other colors besides purple, guys. Like,
But why?
So that's where you get into the color psychology of purple and brands that use purple.
but the whole like Will picked purple because Twitter was blue. Will picked purple just to do it, and
That's
then
awesome.
everything kind of became purple. Well, no, in the beginning I'd say there was other apps that were other colors, but then when Walker said, "Hey, make a purple ostrich," uh, and everyone's like, "Oh, I guess this is our color now," and I don't know, purple became our color. Like almost every app has purple in it.
Mhm.
So we're starting to get a little bit of the design laid out now.
Home screen, okay. Main app entry point with navigation, other features, share screen, highlights screen, list of all created highlights. Cool. I wanted it to have that. Perfect. I'm
I'm interested
excited.
to see how well it does with the intents because I'm still trying to get music players to properly.
Well, that's the whole point of this app is it needs to have the share intent. Like if it doesn't show up as a share target from the intents menu, then like this app's basically useless. It's just a collection of highlights.
Right.
But
And I have a feeling that's what we'll be stuck with. And then it goes exactly what you said of just spending hours playing with debug until you figure out.
yeah. If it works though, that's super sweet. Sounds like a dot matrix printer.
I think I still have nightmares about that sound.
Is that your phone vibrating?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was going into the dev mode. I plugged it in to get into Android Studio.
Yeah, I was curious. Yeah, you're gonna launch it with Android Studio then? Okay, cool.
And then I'll just go into Logcat instead of Android Studio and just use Logcat to feed everything right back into it until it actually works.
Until it works. Yeah, that's smart.
Many hours of just sitting doing the exact same thing until one thing pops.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Patrick, this is not related, but we have a few seconds to kill here. Have you ever used AlbiHub?
You're talking about the Node software.
Yes.
Yeah, in the cloud.
I've not used. So I've used it for like a 500,000 sat relay that I set between OrangeMart for the server, but I've never done anything
All right.
substantial like
I
what
just
you
had a
guys doing.
specific question for something very specific, and I'm waiting for them to answer me. But if
Your
you,
wheels are still turning.
well, I'm highly annoyed. Yeah, that something doesn't work right. It's not even my node.
I saw the post about like the $1,500 in like sitting HTLCs.
Yeah, well, I mean that's lightning, whatever. But my question is I want to open channels to our soapbox node.
Oh yes, I tried all during that whole episode. I'm sitting there trying to find the.
You can't. Well, you can't find it. So I finally got through the debug tools. You can get the pub key, but we don't have the host address report. So like I don't know if it's a Tor node or if it's a ClearNet node, and I don't know what that information is. So I can't open up a. So I told Alex I figured out how he can open up a channel or connect to me as a peer, and I gave him my node information to connect to me as a peer, and it throws an error saying it's invalid address. So it can't connect to Tor.
So it's the same thing that me and OrangeMart have been running into because I've been trying to give them liquidity because they're just using a small little relay or a node and same. So I will love to hear the answer to this whole problem as well.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it's an LDK like limitation connecting to Tor.
Well, it sounds like it's happening to more than just us.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. I'm waiting to hear back because ultimately I want to open channels. Like
It's almost morning there.
Okay.
We might have something to build soon.
Yeah.
It's cool to watch you guys do it this way.
Uh-huh. That's
This
I
is
don't
this is not a point of view I get.
well I don't use Shakespeare. Uh I don't. I like MK Stack. I like the command line.
Yeah.
So the only time I use Shakespeare, like personally, like absolutely, is when I'm helping somebody out, teaching somebody,
hmm
or doing this, like, or doing a demo video. Like
You have
you
the
know,
power of choice now.
yeah. Like
Do whatever
I
you
have the
want.
choice.
You know.
I feel more
Yeah.
comfortable having total control. Like, no,
There you go.
so I
When did Shakespeare go to GLM?
a couple days ago.
Yesterday.
Was it just
Okay.
yesterday? Okay.
I think it was yesterday. I'm probably wrong. At
Yeah,
this point in the day, my days run together.
and Gemini is going to be renamed to something else because it doesn't use Gemini anymore.
Oh.
It uses GLM as well.
Oh, cool. Just the like 20
The
billion parameter or whatever, the smaller one.
it uses Flash. I think that's what it is, GLM Flash. But yeah, it's better.
I thought that
Well,
said
like I said,
snorkeling.
it is making progress on Intense, so it's trying to figure it out. I knew
Cool.
that'd be an issue for it.
The cool thing is that so we switched the model to this, but I joked that well in a couple months or less, like everybody's going to release new models that have to compete, and
Yeah.
we're gonna have to flip back. Which is we're gonna keep playing this ping pong game for like the next like year or two, or who knows how long.
Till that money
It
dries up.
keeps it interesting.
Yeah, but that's what like China's doing it for like a fraction of the money. So if it can be like 80% as good for a fraction of the cost, that's worth it.
100%. Especially when that performance loss is going from 100 to 99% is quality.
Yeah. Like sure, maybe it'll take you 2 or 3 prompts to get what you want, but it's still cheaper.
Wow.
Okay, I feel like it missed out on some of the context because it's trying to build its own Amber thing, it looks like.
Well, I saw Amber. I saw Amber up above in the when it was talking about something. It mentioned Noster Signer in parentheses Amber, and I thought that it meant like to you. I didn't see the whole thing because wasn't paying attention. Now, let me add Amber Signer provider to fix the authentication. So is this part of the test? What's it doing?
This is going through, so Analyze is almost like the NPM test.
Okay.
And it's going through and just finding all the different errors.
Okay.
And apparently just flat in, left in, like certain to-dos. But I guess it is actually going through the right package. Sometimes it will try to build things on its own without following the context. There's still a lot of context issues I notice all the time.
Well, it's we're early. Gonna have to do
I love its little.
gonna have to do one of these some weekend, Heather. Like really
Yeah.
early or really late in the morning, and do one for the EU people so they could join live sometime.
Oh yeah. I like how it's like moseying, boogieing. Yeah, it's like what? I'm gonna have to time those.
I will be shocked if it gets this intent right.
Yeah, no, that'll be really cool. And I said it like it looks like it. I mean, it tried to at least.
Because I still don't have a music player. Like it drives me batty that music will play, but I don't have like the Android music player controls. And I've
Yeah.
spent so many hours trying to get it to work.
Yeah, that's the downside. Like I use the Zaptracks PWA. Wonder if I mean that's I didn't I never even tried. I assume you can't do that with a PWA, like with a service worker. Like you can't register with the music controls. I doubt you can, right?
I'm not too sure. I don't even think Nostra Music that I made is a PWA at the moment. I still got that as a to-do for Vlogster because Huddle wrote on there asking about that.
Dude, there's I need to stop coming up with ideas because I have too many apps to maintain.
100%.
Like
No comment.
like turning into Pablo like before my very eyes. Like
I was giving Corn DeLorean shit about how he's like always talking stuff on vibe coders and how we do just that. And now Peachy makes fun of me all the time that I'm literally doing that.
yeah, yeah. My wife said like a couple weeks ago when I was making something, I was kind of like complaining to myself that I was moving on to make another app already. And she's like, "Don't you complain when people do that?" And I kind of like side eyed her. I'm like, "Kinda," you know. It's funny.
I like Mrs. Ross.
Mm-hmm. She's a good lady.
I've got Auction Star I've got to go back to and finish at some point and rewrite the nip for it.
Dude, I like the only app that I vibe coded and kind of abandoned was Zaplytics. I haven't done anything to it. All the other ones, I at least once a week I update something on or change something. So I'm still working on them. But Zaplytics, I've never done anything to since launch.
What's Zaplytics, by the way?
Oh,
I'm getting tickled.
Zaplytics is basically what you're going to steal to put in your fucking Vlogster tab, aren't you?
Well, it's funny because I was pissed about Primal like dropping, even being able to buy Legend, and then now you have to do their pro thing. And so I was like, I'm going to make you obsolete. I'm going to build a whole like.
Do it.
So I launched Zaplytics before Primal Studio came out, but it's basically Primal Studio for free.
That's hilarious.
Do it, Patrick. Do it because Primal
I don't have to now.
Charge a lot of money.
I'm just going to fork Zap Studio.
He's gonna do what he always does. He's gonna fork Derek's project and make it better and make it better.
Hey, it's open source.
No,
exactly.
So I'll tell you what. If you figure it out how to do it, I'll fork it back and fix it.
There we go.
Because the problem with Zaplytics that I don't know how to do pagination properly or how to prompt AI to do pagination properly to have it. Pull down all of your data. So I only do it in chunks, like the past week, the past month, or the past 3 months. And after that, and then I allow you to search by different 3-month time periods. So you can go back 2 years ago and do a time period of 3 months 2 years ago. But I can't get it to continuously pull down data. Like if you wanted to do of all time or something like that, or a longer than 3-month period. Because different relays will have different amounts of events. Like some relays will be like a max of 1,500 events. Some will be 1,000 or 250 or 500 or whatever. And it just I just can't get it to.
So it's almost like you need a caching server that they run to have all the data outside of relay.
Well, that's the problem is that I don't have a caching server and it's all trying to cache it locally. So I was trying to figure out how to do like event store and local storage and store it all, and I did get that working at least for the 3-month period, I think. So if you're switching back and forth, it's stored in cache. But yeah, it doesn't work how I would want it to work. But for any 3-month period, it works great. So that works, and it has a little bit of analytics. Eventually, I wanted to add the ability for you, the creator, to be able to award like your top supporter a badge. So like every month you could. So I wanted to build badge assignments into Zaplytics as a creator tool.
That would be cool.
And then the ability to like I guess zap people that zapped you if you wanted to zap them back. It's purely just analytics now. It's only kind of one way. I wanted it to go 2 ways, but I just haven't built that yet.
So intents are being a pain in the butt. It's got to the point it said there's no issues with the app up here for analyzing.
Okay.
Tries to build it, and then there ends up being a problem with
share intent. I see that. Okay.
Which is just a Java issue, but we'll see if it figures it out. But this is one of those where it may be tomorrow morning before this is actually ready to show anything off.
Well, That's all right. We'll let it do its thing for a few more minutes here, and then we'll just we'll call it. We'll call it, and then maybe tomorrow, if it finishes or something, you can share it out, and we'll talk about it next week or something. Daniel wanted to come tonight and talk. He must have forgot. He messaged me while I was in Helsinki, and he's like, "Hey, what night? Or what date and time are the vibe coding jam sessions? I want to come and talk about something I've built. It's so addictive." And I was like, "Dude, please come talk." And then he didn't come. The jerk. I gotta give him. Oh, to give him some shit.
Oh yeah, we'll get him in here one night.
I think what Simi made a post this morning about making like, I forget what he called it, but essentially a helper type client. I think that the analytics would work really well with something like that. I'd have to find the post to speak any bit intelligently to what I'm trying to say. I'm still half asleep is my excuse.
Yeah, I think the whole reason that I built the Zaplytics site was probably the same reason that Primal ended up building their paid version, because creators want to know if their content is doing well and which pieces of content are doing well and what time of day and week. So I have all that in there, you know.
Yeah, that would be great. I don't know how well that works with all the relays and all the different clients,
Well,
but Primal's doing it somehow.
Primal does it because they have a caching index server that essentially just downloads all the events from, not all the relays, but the vast majority of relays. So they have all of Noster basically saved on their own central server. So they can just query and write queries to get whatever data they want because they have it all.
Interesting.
So it makes it easier, but people don't like that about Primal. People say, "Oh, they have centralization." It's like, yeah, but it's okay. It'll be all right.
People will complain about anything on Noster if you give them the chance.
Yes, we like to complain.
We all have an opinion about
We
it.
also love it when people build cool shit, and that's what we're here for. We're building cool
Exactly. Oh, shenanigans.
Oh
I
no.
like that. That's a good word. That's my new favorite word.
All right, it's going to try to build. Let's see what happens.
We call it building. It calls it shenaniganing. Quiet has shown up. Would that be Quiet Warrior? Or just somebody who's actually quiet? Hello, welcome. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Quiet. Is that Quiet Warrior?
That's what I just said, but he would be able to talk right now, so it can't be him.
That's okay.
He's because you can't shut him up either. So.
Oh, did it build? No. It's still going. Oh, maybe it did.
Mm-hmm.
The app built successfully.
Ooh,
Oh, man.
look at that.
Material 3. Note on intent handling. The Android share intent functionality was removed. What's the whole fucking reason we wanted it? Literally, it's like, we built the app, but the entire reason for the app to exist was removed.
Thanks, Claude. I appreciate this.
Oh, that's awesome. It's like, here's your app called Noster Share. By the way, we removed the ability to share. Like, come on. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? We'll just have to tell Claude to add it back.
Exactly.
sign in with Amber, create highlights by typing or pasting text. Well, that's dumb.
I have a feeling it's probably going to make like Con 1 notes of
But-
like,
See, I'm curious if it actually like does an actual a kind one note of highlighting your own text.
all right, found the APK and let's
Okay.
get this on my phone. I don't know if I have an easy way to share.
Are you running it on your phone?
Mhm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we won't be able to see that unless you join from your phone and you do a share screen from your phone.
That I think I can do then. I'll see if it even does anything before I go through all the effort.
Yeah. I mean, the main function of the app was
Already
really-
taken out. Yeah.
Yeah. So if it runs, you're like, okay, at least the app opens up, and now
Next
we can
step.
begin
Figure
the
that out. Exactly.
begin the implementation of the main feature. But you said you couldn't even get that to work with music control, so maybe maybe this is one of the features that that Franzeb needs to build, and then have be a component and a hook, like a predetermined how to access, how to use the Android share intent menu or something.
It does seem like it's not using Kind 1 because as soon as I signed in, it takes me to a profile page. It says I have 0 highlights, and I've never used that on Nostr, so
Cool. Well, I'm curious. Can you like look at other people's profiles or paste it in NPub? Like if you could put mine in there and see because I should have some highlights. It's been a
Nope,
while since I've highlighted
just-
anything.
just giving me options for share. Let's go try to figure out this share screen.
Well, I think for an initial prototype, the main feature sure doesn't work, but how many times have we built something that the main feature doesn't work anyway? So the fact that other features works, that you can sign in and browse around and whatnot, then sure, it's something. And we'll go from there.
It's always a learning experience.
Oh,
Well,
Ooh,
looks like he was able to sign in. Now let's see if we can share.
Tester in the house.
so now figuring out how to share.
Share screen. What one? Yeah, I've never actually done this on mobile.
I don't know if it has a share function inside of mobile. Maybe where I'm not signed in using my actual keys or something. Let me see if I can just run it out of terminal, which I won't be able to sign in then because I don't have Amber on the computer. Well, it was a fun little project to show how it works.
Yeah. We all learned something.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that it's a good starting place. Like if you're going to continue to work on it, or publish the code, and I'll download it and work on it in one of my infinite project time loops when I'm jumping from A to B and need a chance to go work on something else to distract me from those.
There you go. You need a project outside of your other projects. Sometimes your projects have projects.
They do. That's the unfortunate thing is I get more and more projects. Okay, well, tonight was a little slower than normal, but that's cool. We got to demonstrate a few apps, a few projects, and I got to see how the purple stack works. So
Yeah, you're
it
welcome.
was a little slower than usual, but that's okay. Yeah, thanks for coming. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Patrick, sorry you slept and missed the first half, but that's okay.
Yeah, did you all build anything during the first hour?
Heather talked about some apps that she built over the last week. She built a couple different things. We didn't do any live building, but we need to do that next week. It's been a while since we've
Yeah,
done a live build. I think
for sure.
people like the live builds because it kind of demystifies like you know
100%.
how it all works, and
Hmm.
some people are kind of scared to get started. So yeah, maybe that's what we'll do next
Yeah.
week. Maybe we'll make a prompt and say, "Come and we'll build your app live" or something like that.
Yeah, sometimes I think you need to like show people
Well,
what,
that's what I did
not
with.
just what to do, but how to do it.
Yep. Done that in the first ones, and they were they went
Yeah,
fairly well. So maybe
yeah, I missed all
we'll bring
those.
that. Yeah, you did. You missed it when we were doing that. So we'll bring it back for you. Okay. Well, thank you all for coming.
Yeah, good job, Derek.